The Ohio State Buckeyes opened at odds of 8-1 to win the 2017 College Football National Championship, but their odds are now down to 3-1. Last season saw the team go 11-2 straight up and 6-7 against the spread. This year's season win total for the team is set at 10.5 games. In 2016, Ohio State was the least experienced NCAA team in the entire country, but they still managed to make a college football playoff run in spite of their youth. Now add the second best recruiting class in the nation to the 15 returning starters, and you have a very dangerous team indeed. Opening at odds of 15-2, Vegas gave the Bucks the second best chance of winning the national championship, and rightfully so, as this team is loaded with talent and now has a wealth of experience in key areas. With three of their biggest games at home against Oklahoma, Penn State, and Michigan State, it's difficult to imagine them losing more than one game. They will be a solid favorite in all of their games, save for their season finale in Michigan, where we might see the one blemish on their record. Kevin Wilson, the former head coach of Indiana and OC at Oklahoma, will join Urban Meyer's staff as offensive coordinator this year to call plays for an offense that will take the field with 8 returning starters. Now a senior, JT Barrett is back at quarterback following a decent junior campaign, with 2,555 passing yards, a 61.5% completion rate, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 845 running yards. With Wilson's offensive success at Indiana and Oklahoma, and a senior quarterback to adapt this experienced offense to his system, the Buckeyes could feature one of the top offenses in the country. The Buckeyes' leading rusher from a year ago, sophomore Mike Weber, is back to lead the backfield once again, and should assume a feature-back role. Losing the speed and playmaking ability of Curtis Samuel to the Carolina Panthers in the second round of the draft could certainly hurt, but having Demario McCall back as a complement to Weber should ease the pain. Also look for 4-star freshman recruit J.K. Dobbins, who had the best overall player rating at the Nike camp last summer, to make his presence felt. The Ohio State receiving corps will have to rebuild yet again this year, as they lose their number one receiving threat in Curtis Samuel, as well as their top 2 wide receivers, Noah Brown and Dontre Wilson. They will return some experience, however, as 7 out of 10 of the wide receivers on the roster come back from last year. Senior Marcus Baugh will also return to complement junior Terry McLaurin and Benjamin Victor. Though the offensive line will suffer the loss of All-American Pat Elfine to the Minnesota Vikings, look for this unit to take a leap forward. They will return 4 very highly recruited starters with 80 career starts in total, and add JUCO transfer Malcolm Pigeon for guard depth, as well as 5-star recruit Josh Myers, one of the top lineman recruits in the country for 2017. Of the 7 returning starters on defense for Ohio State, 4 of those come back up front, where they will return 11 of 12 defensive linemen from last year, including 2 seniors and a junior. Senior Tracy Sprinkle, who was injured for the season last year in the opener, will return, along with sophomore Nick Bosa, who isn't even listed as a starter. Featuring 13 highly recruited prospects in total, the Buckeyes' defensive line should be one of the best, if not the best, in the nation. Losing last year's leading tackler Raekwon McMillan to the Miami Dolphins in the second round of the NFL draft will be a blow. But there is a silver lining with the return of senior Dante Booker. On the preseason Buckeyes list, Booker was out for the season after one start in 2016, but will return this year for his senior year, along with 2 veteran starters, Jerome Baker and senior Chris Worley. This unit will be more experienced than last year and loaded with talent, so expect improvement for 2017. One of the best passing defenses in the country statistically last year, the Buckeyes will lose some major talent in the secondary to the NFL. Darian Conley, Marshawn Lattimore, and Malik Hooker have all moved up. The team will add Alabama redshirt recruit JUCO transfer sophomore Kendall Sheffield, whom is considered a top 5 talent at the position, and could do a lot to make up for massive losses incurred this offseason. Though they are replacing an unbelievable amount of talent, don't expect this secondary to fall that much. They are still one of the most talented and deepest secondaries in all of college football. The Ohio State Buckeyes come back with both strong new recruits and experienced talent. As a young team, they went 11-2 last year, so we'll expect them to go over 10.5 wins this season with more experience and added top-shelf recruits.